The morning sun streamed through the curtains as I sat at the table sipping my coffee, the smell of toast and scrambled eggs filling the kitchen. It was supposed to be another ordinary day, the kind where the routine comforts you. My wife, Anna, was bustling around, setting plates and pouring juice for our son, Daniel. He sat across from me, legs dangling, his face still puffy with sleep. That's when he asked the question that froze everything in the room. "Mom," Daniel said innocently, spoon in hand, "should I tell Dad about last night?" His words were clear, loud enough that silence immediately followed. My fork hung in the air, untouched. Anna's hand trembled slightly as she placed the orange juice on the table, then quickly forced a smile. "What do you mean, sweetheart?" she asked, her voice oddly high-pitched, like she was trying too hard to sound casual. I could feel my pulse quicken, and the coffee suddenly tasted bitter. Children didn't invent things like this out of nowhere. My eyes darted between them, searching for an explanation. Daniel shrugged. "You told me not to say anything, remember? But I think Dad should know." He stabbed at his eggs, oblivious to the tension building like a storm cloud over our table. Anna's face drained of color, and she reached to smooth Daniel's hair, but her hand faltered midway. I leaned back in my chair, trying to steady my breathing. "Tell me what, Daniel?" My voice came out calmer than I felt. Inside, questions roared. What had happened? Why would Anna tell him to keep something from me? A child doesn't know the weight of secrets unless someone puts it in his small hands. Anna cut in quickly. "He's just confused, Mark. Kids dream things, mix them up with reality." She forced a laugh, but it was thin, brittle, and cracked under the silence. Daniel frowned, looking frustrated, like he knew he was being dismissed. "No, Mom. I didn't dream it. You went outside when it was dark, and there was a man at the window. You told me not to wake Dad." His little voice carried the weight of truth in a way no adult could fake. My stomach clenched, and Anna's hand froze on her glass of water. I turned slowly to her. "Anna." Her name was barely a whisper, but it carried all the weight of suspicion that had just been planted in me. She avoided my eyes, her lips pressed tightly together as if sealing away the words she didn't want to let out. Daniel kept going, oblivious to the storm he'd unleashed. "I couldn't sleep, so I saw you. You talked to him for a long time. You even went to the car. Then you told me not to tell Dad." His innocent eyes looked between us, seeking reassurance, but all he found was my silence and Anna's panic. The air grew heavy. My mind spun with images I didn't want to see. Who was the man? Why was Anna sneaking out in the middle of the night? And why would she drag our son into the secrecy? My trust, built over years of marriage, began to crumble with each word Daniel spoke. Anna finally spoke, her voice shaking. "It wasn't what it sounds like, Mark. Please." But she stopped herself, glancing at Daniel, as if she couldn't say more with him present. The look in her eyes was a mixture of fear and pleading, but it only deepened the pit in my stomach. I pushed my chair back, the screech against the floor sharp and final. "We'll talk later," I said flatly, my gaze fixed on Anna. She tried to reach for my hand, but I pulled away, unable to mask the anger and betrayal rising in me. Breakfast was forgotten. The food on my plate grew cold as my mind burned. Daniel went quiet, sensing the tension he had stirred. He bowed his head, poking at his eggs. Anna sat frozen, her hands clenched together tightly, as though she could squeeze the truth into something less dangerous. The rest of breakfast passed in silence, but the damage had already been done. A 7-year-old's innocent question had shattered the fragile peace of our home. And as I looked at Anna across the table, I knew that whatever her explanation was, our marriage would never be the same again. That morning, the sun still shone, the world outside remained unchanged, but inside me, a storm had begun, one that neither of us could stop. The question Daniel had asked echoed in my mind, and I knew I would not rest until I learned the whole truth about last night.